Okay, my name's John Kett. This is my assignment for Unit 1, Assignment 1.2, where I am looking at some different woodland experiences. I'm going to actually compare the school woodland, which is on campus, with the one which is actually a very short walk away on Ansan Mountain, as two comparative environments. I'm stood here next to the school sign which talks about the Solforan School Forest Walk, and I'm going to flip the camera around in a second just to show you a bit more detail about that, about the thoughts behind what went into establishing a particular forest school walk some years ago, and some of the ways in which students can respect the trail and what that means for understanding our environment and sustaining the environment that we have here and looking after it. Okay, so you can see here there is a list of ways in which you can respect the trail. It talks about how this is a part of our educational area. It says even though it has no walls, it's still a place where learning takes place. It says take nothing but photographs, so we leave the things that we find in this environment here as part of our environment. That can include flowers, twigs, branches and so on. It talks about if experiments are carried out respecting the wildlife, the flora and fauna. So it does say that this is not only for forest school, but this is for outdoor learning as well. It talks about the dangers of naked flames. Obviously as part of forest school, we would talk again about the students how they can set up fires safely and in specific areas where they're allowed to do so. And it just talks about again ways in which we can look after our environment, and so there's a set of rules here, and this gives us a great talking point with the children when we do forest school or outdoor learning experiences to make sure that this area is being well looked after. Okay, so this is on the forest walk. You can see there's quite a number of broadleaf trees here as we enter this part of the forest walk, and as we go along the path we enter into this more carnivorous section of the forest walk as well. You can see here at the shrub level there are quite a few smaller trees that have started to take root here at the shrub level. Obviously this being winter time, at the field and ground level all we've really got is leaves at the lower level at this time of year after the autumn period. Just over here, this tree here which has become a bit of a talking point. As you can see, it's got the tree sap here, and the children just absolutely fascinated with where sap comes from and the experience of feeling what the sap feels like. And so yeah, again with this carnivorous tree variety that we have here, the tree sap's a great talking point as well about that. An example of one of our broadleaf trees here in the school forest is just above me here. You can see actually this time of the year without any of the leaves on just how much space this broadleaf tree takes up, how much light is coming through, and it's surrounded by the carnivorous plants here on the edge here. So what a great talking point to talk to the children about the difference between the broadleaf and the carnivorous. We're surrounded by carnivorous, but looking straight up at this broadleaf you can see that it's completely dominating this particular area of the forest. Okay, so in terms of the sort of students' forest school experience, interestingly we're at a point in the school forest now where you can see there's lots of the branches which have been placed over here by some of our local staff, and this is a result of trees coming down during a recent snowstorm. So yes, snow or wind can affect the density of the way in which the trees have been positioned throughout our forest. Also, just in terms of sustainability, in this part of the forest you can see the children make bird houses as part of their curriculum, and so some of the bird houses have been put up in this part of the forest as well, which is another key part of how we look after and sustain our local environment. Another section just where there's quite a few more of these bird houses have been placed by the children after their design lesson as well. We've got a number of these plant boxes, and actually they're dotted all over campus. As you can see the story circle just a bit further down there. But these plant boxes, they're all over campus, and again they're to encourage the children to again plant bulbs, to plant vegetables and so on. And so again they get really involved in that, and it's again another great way to talk about the importance of nature and sustainability and growing things for ourselves, and those sorts of messages as well about looking after ourselves and how we can grow things, what sort of things plants need to grow. In this particular part of the forest, it's so interesting to see you've got these much more established trees, and then you've got these smaller, less established ones. It just makes me wonder, again, a great part to talk to the children about is how are these trees getting what they need in terms of light from above and nutrients from the soil when they're so closely packed in. So again, a good discussion point first of all will be, how do you think these sort of took root in the first place? Do you think it was that man planted them, or more natural, to guide the discussion around the positioning and density of trees and what they need in order to grow well? They do seem to be doing quite well, but again, amazingly, everything does feel very sort of packed in this particular area of our school forest. And again, just a great chance to observe here the difference between this shrub and these small trees that have taken root and grown here in this area of the forest, and some of the more established carnivorous trees which are growing around them. Again, you can really see the difference in the height of these trees, which are all obviously part of the established canopy, and then these smaller trees as part of the shrub, which are just growing down below here. Very snowy, but you can see here are our plant boxes. So obviously this is all going to look very different in the next 3 to 4 months as spring comes around and then into summer, as we start to plant things and grow. I'll try and add some photos from last year of these plant boxes just to show how much they thrive. But this time of year, obviously nothing's growing, just completely covered in snow. But again, more examples of some of the plant boxes we have around campus, where children can grow things, plants, bulbs, fruits and vegetables. Chilies grow particularly well here.